list of things here. The membership committee is meeting tomorrow. And if you gave one of those ideas and you would like to give more input or lead the charge, and membership committee is very willing to help with that, just let me know and I'll be in the back of the hall after the service. And also I know we have some new folks here or returning folks or people, relatives, and we're so happy to have all of you here. And if you would like more information about our congregation or anything you heard today, again, I'll be in the back and I'll try to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you.
Good morning. Can you hear me? I need to move this down anyway. Welcome to this sacred space. This is our call to worship. Settle in your chairs. We have come together for that which is worthy, and that is community. We do not have to be the same. We can be different. We can accept each other as we are in this sacred space. We emotionally connect. We learn to love. And we feel and see and are seen and heard. And we know what is most important. Welcome. Welcome to worship.
That was Melissa Jeter, who I now get to introduce. Melissa is a full-time seminarian at the Methodist Theological School of Ohio, as well as a full-time librarian in Toledo, Ohio. Jeter is the student minister affiliated with the First Unitarian Church of Toledo and a regular participant in the Multi-Faith Council of Northwest Ohio. She holds a master's degree in library and information science from the University of Illinois and a Master of Arts degree in sociology from the University of Toledo. She became a commissioned lay minister through the UU Central East region before she decided to attend seminary. Jeter imbued her action with faith in nonprofit community agencies to improve city neighborhoods, enforce civil rights, in housing, as well as shelter women and children from domestic violence in Toledo, Ohio. Melissa Jeter makes meaning and compassion through family genealogy, crafting, making music, and playing with her dog, Miss Taffy. Would you hit that chime one more time? Let us now rise in body or spirit as we sing our opening hymn. The music can be found in the teal hymnal or on the screen. It's Building Bridges, number 1023.
We will sing this through 3 times.
I want to invite you to a moment of meditation, contemplation, and prayer. This prayer is by Alex Jensen, a prayer for humility. Spirit of life, I find you in those humble places, the quiet, still spaces where I am held in a greater love than myself. You are the wind in my breath, the fire in my soul, the subtle heartbeat of creation all around me. Oh God, your love is unimposing yet firm and steadfast. Present to all those who could know your peace. You challenge me in my arrogance and move me to listen deeply when I fail, as I always do, to see the fuller picture. Spirit of love, you find the gentle words to speak life into me and hold me when all else around me and in me feels broken. You remind me that I am loved and saved just as I am. Your salvation is found in living life loved. Remind me of who I am, O holy mystery. Help me to see you in the small, everyday moments where you are found. Grant me the wisdom to listen for you and seek you in those unlikely and unexpected places. Amen.
Now please join us as we sing the meditative hymn, Spirit of Life. The music can be found in the gray hymnal, number 123. Our reading this morning is How We Belong by Alex Jensen. Unitarian Universalists can and do believe many different things about life's biggest questions, about God, the greater mystery, about what happens to us when we die. Though you can't be a Unitarian Universalist if you don't agree about some of the more important things of this faith. You can't be a UU, or you wouldn't be much of a good one, if you cling to a prejudiced or oppressive view of others. If you are in any way, or if you in any way believe that someone else is somehow inferior or anything lesser than human. You can't be a UU if you can't tolerate big questions or critically examine what it is that you believe and why. You can't be a UU if you fundamentally believe there's only one path or spiritual truth out there to make meaning of life and to understand it. Sorry. I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon, I have to back up just a minute. You can't be a UU, or you wouldn't be much of a very good one if you cling to prejudiced or oppressive views of others. If you in any way believe that someone else is somehow inferior or anything lesser than human. You can't be a UU if you can't tolerate big questions or critically examine what you believe and why. You can't be a UU if you fundamentally believe there's only one path or one spiritual truth out there to make meaning of life and to understand it. If you cling to just one set of beliefs, dogmas, or creeds, and shut out the possibilities and offerings of other traditions that are different from your own, you're not a Unitarian Universalist. As wide as our welcoming embrace is, there are some things that are non-negotiable for us as a people. Those non-negotiables are the inherent worth and dignity of each person, no matter who they are. The rigor of critical thinking about ourselves and our beliefs, and the bounty of the world's traditions that each hold a piece of the cosmic puzzle about how we might understand these wild, wondrous lives of ours. No, you can't be a Unitarian Universalist and believe anything you want. You can believe in a lot of things, but there are some fundamental things that bring us and bind us together as a tradition of faith.
I am Melissa Jeter. That is true. And I will be your worship leader this morning. Thank you. Driving down this morning, I really recognize how much I miss the hills of southeastern Ohio where I was born. It is a beautiful, beautiful place here. And I do appreciate you having me be here. I'm grateful for your hospitality and welcome. Today, I hope to take you on my intellectual and affective, emotional journey that began with courses on the Dead Sea Scrolls, Paul, apostle to the Gentiles, pastoral care, and interreligious understanding. We are UUs. We think a lot. And I feel a lot too. On this journey, I want to talk about Unitarian Universalism and pluralism. I want to share my personal UU theology with you and how it informs my pluralist engagement. So I am going to discuss what pluralism is from the perspective of Harvard scholar Diane Eck, while at the same time pointing out the ideas from Unitarian Universalism that appear to resonate with her work. Well, it's just one person who talks about pluralism, but she's widely known. I have more questions than I have answers, because I'm struggling to make meaning of this intellectual and affective journey. And sometimes, very honestly, with worship and life and trying to make meaning of life, that really is the point. Unitarian Universalism has its roots in Christianity. And I think it is fair to say that we still live in a world that is dominated by Western Christianity. Take a moment and consider the holidays for which your employer gives everyone time off, or the days that general operations of town just shut down. Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving. Businesses close on Sunday, not on Sabbaths of Muslims or people who practice Judaism. Sunday may be a day when alcohol can or cannot be sold, or the hours are at least limited. Also, of course, there are faith-based organizations that provide services to people who need food or medical care within and outside of the United States. I'm sure you can think of these situations, as it is not my intention to cause discomfort at thinking about it. So let's just take a moment to breathe in peace and breathe out love, as the hymn says. I took a couple classes earlier this year, and one on the Dead Sea Scrolls, the other one on the Apostle Paul. I won't go into detail about each, but get right to those places where my heart and mind still linger. From the course on the Dead Sea Scrolls, I learned that ancient Judeans had a lot of diversity. Then, in the course on Paul, I learned that he spoke to Jews who lived in the Roman Greco world about how to be one people in a movement, one people centered around Jesus, that eventually became Christianity. You see, the people of the ancient world, I learned, were more diverse than had ever been described to me before. Apparently, Christian church fathers like Jerome and Augustine also were out awareness of the degree of diversity when they spoke about Judeans. However, that lack of information did not prevent them from identifying practices or customs of what was or was not Christian. What was not Christian was called heresy. Moreover, the concept we know as religion emerges from sorting different people and their practices. This sorting process is called heresiology, by the way. There's a book by Daniel Boyarin, if you want to read more about that. So, I don't know about you, but the wheels in my head were turning. And in my daily meditation, all I could think about was wheels. Wheels of mills, wheels on cars, wheels of time, history flowing through my mind. The concept of religion is a Western Christian perspective. So in order to create an identity based on this movement of diverse human beings living in the Roman Greco world, the early church fathers found that it was really important to establish who and what was Christian. Then I was reminded of a quote. There is no power for change greater than a community discovering what it cares about. There is no power for change greater than a community discovering what it cares about. I wanted to hold on to this narrative and take this history into account with my next course, Interreligious Understanding. At the same time, I was working as a chaplain intern in a Catholic hospital. Here I was discovering how my personal UU theology informed providing spiritual care to patients who may or may not be Christian or Muslim or have any faith. So what is my personal UU theology? Well, I embrace that we, human beings, we need each other to help each of us make meaning of the emotional anxieties that come about from this journey of living. My Unitarian Universalist identity is in my practice. How do I engage as a Unitarian Universalist? How does my Unitarian Universalist theology inform pluralism? My experience as a chaplain may demonstrate that I listen and pray well with people of faiths unlike my own. So now I want to focus on pluralism. Diane Eck of Harvard Divinity School is a scholar who studies about religious pluralism. According to Eck, pluralism takes the position that truth is not an exclusive or an inclusive possession of any one community. Different understandings and visions of God or ultimate reality are elements of the idea of pluralism. Unitarian Universalism is very open and appears pluralistic to me. Is that really so? Eck continues that a person who is pluralist recognizes the limits of their own worldview and is curious enough to learn the view of others as they understand it. This, in my thinking, goes beyond the golden rule, by the way. It certainly is different from trying to fit the beliefs of another into your own. This happens when people assume a faith or philosophy has God when they don't. For example, how many people have heard that Buddhists pray to Buddha? Right? That seems to me as not only a misunderstanding, but a way of including people into how you perceive religion, not how somebody else does. As a chaplain, asking a person about their faith tradition was the time in which I was mutually engaged in seeking truth of what they thought was the meaning of their illness, or the death of a loved one. In most cases, the person in the hospital was not Unitarian Universalist. I met one person. Yet showing up and being present was a loving act. Engaging in pluralism with another is about mutuality and truth-seeking. Pluralism, according to Eck, says, God is bigger than our knowledge and understanding. One particular view of God is not universal, though there is both transcendence and particularity. How many people have heard of Howard Thurman? Okay. Howard Thurman was like that. You know? He had his own view, particular Baptist view of God. But he said that his particular view was not universal. Unitarian Universalists are free and responsible to search for meaning. Diane Eck says that human practices circle around God or ultimate reality. So religions different from those who center God or some kind of ultimate reality or absolute cannot be measured by the degree of distance from that center. Okay, here's God, and then I'm going to measure, well, they believe this, let's see how close they are to, no. No. Pluralism requires that I appreciate religions on their own terms. On their own terms. Pluralism is a yes to or acknowledgement of different faiths, and it requires engagement. So what does it take to change from tolerance to pluralist? Well, insist that there is a centering value or compelling life truth. Perhaps that is love. My UU theology in practice as a chaplain means that I meet people in their grief and ask them how their faith provides meaning to them. I listen to their meaning making. Collectively, as UUs, how have we changed from tolerance to pluralist? Where is our engagement? Secondly, there must be some way to which you are committed. Having no commitment or a laissez-faire approach is a way to get stuck. What I commit to, working as a chaplain who is Unitarian Universalist, is showing up for another person in their suffering, because I'm committed to serving the human condition. We live, we die, we get sick, we go to the hospital, we need somebody to care for us. Somebody, even if, God forbid, I have alienated everybody. Let there be somebody who is a chaplain who shows up to just listen to me say, well, this happened, and I did these things, but my faith tells me this. And so this is what it means to me. We need each other And this is something that I'm not just committed to, but convicted of. Love is the center, and my commitment is to Unitarian Universalism. Love is the center, and my commitment is to Unitarian Universalism. I can be multi-faith with Unitarian Universalism. I can accept your religion and where you are coming from and what makes meaning to you. And if I know that about you, God forbid, I come visit you in your hospital bed, that I don't have to tell you, well, you know, if you haven't been saved, you're going to hell. And you need to read this verse, because that's the one that'll get you, right. I don't have to do that. Pluralism doesn't make a new religion either. It doesn't flatten out the differences. Differences are to be respected. This is that wrestling thing. I may not understand it, but what does it take for me to respect that is what gives meaning to your life? With pluralism, a person is situated in a particular community and is willing to understand another, not to take on or deny their own. I'm not taking on yours. I'm like, I really like that. I'm going to go over here. Let me go over here. I don't have to do that. I don't have to do that. It doesn't mean that somebody's going to force me. You better go on over there. You don't have to do that either. Differences are to be respected. With pluralism, a person is situated in a particular community and is willing to understand another, not take on or deny their own. I found very sacred moments with patience, with faiths unlike my own. My faith informs me that these faiths exist. These people exist. I found that when I was in the hospital coming in as I am, people didn't turn me away. They didn't say, oh, we don't want you. We don't want you. They said, can you pray for my mom? My faith informs me that these faiths exist and thus are inherently worthy. All people of faith have joys and suffering. Suffering is a part of the human condition. When I think of important truths that faith traditions carry, I think of the first noble truth of Buddhism, dukkha, meaning life is suffering. The other truth that has been useful to me is that of right livelihood, of doing work that is not harmful to me or to anyone else. Here's where I have struggled, because even though I have spent what feels like, I know I look younger, even though I feel like I have spent what feels like a lifetime vocationally in social and community services and women's shelters or advocating for people, I find that as I descend deeper into this work, I have experienced pain just the same as the people for whom I would advocate. I also want to be liberated from systems that oppress. Yet to live even my modest life, I consider what pain and harm I could cause. Nobody gets out of this alive. This is life. So I started by saying that I wanted to share my intellectual and affective journey with you as I talk about how my personal Unitarian Universalist theology informs my pluralist engagement. I also said that I have more questions than I have answers, because I'm struggling to make meaning of this intellectual and affective journey, too. I want to know how the dominant religion here in our country, in the society of Western Christianity, formed. Like a child, I ask, why? And, but I thought you said, I am curious and open. And as a chaplain, I never questioned the faith of the person for whom I was present. I am faithful to Unitarian Universalism because I can have my particular expression of that which deeply connects all beings without needing to deny another person, another faith. My faith identity has emerged through the praxis and praxis. It's more orthopraxy, not orthodoxy. The praxis of centering love and commitment. That is my journey. I wish you blessings on yours. Amen. Ashe.
Our faith is centered on the belief that we can make this world a better place for all who dwell in it. In order to realize that vision, we need both the motivation and the means. Your donation helps the community put its faith into action by supporting our programming and our facilities. And this morning, throughout the month of August, donations that are not designated for another purpose will be split with CAMO, which is the Central American Medical Outreach. CAMO provides medical services, community development, training, and education to impoverished people. The offering will now be taken and gratefully accepted. Now join me in this unison reading the words are on the screen. Let us be grateful for when we are able to give, for many do not have that privilege. Let us be grateful for those who share their gifts with us, for we are enriched by their giving. Let us be grateful even for our needs, so that we may learn from the generosity of others. Let us now rise in body or spirit as we sing the closing hymn. The music can be found in the gray hymnal, number 354. We laugh, we cry.
Which we can belong.
So we send this flame, we extinguish it, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts till we are together again.